Welcome back. This is Momentum Breaking News. Dark shadow of devastation has been cast over the Caribbean once again. The breaking news, just in Momentum's news desk, is that another island in the Caribbean has just been wiped off the map. Hurricane Maria wiped Dominica off the face of the earth. I'm sorry to say. The storm tore through Dominica, a mountainous island country of 72,000 people in the eastern Caribbean, late on Monday, causing devastation that Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit described as mind-boggling. Maria is following a similar path to Hurricane Irma, which ripped across the Caribbean earlier this month, claiming at least 84 deaths and reducing the island of Barbuda to rubble. Maria claimed its first victim in the French territory of Guadeloupe, where two other people were missing. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit pleaded with the world to help his small island country by posting a dramatic Facebook status. The winds have swept away the roofs of almost every person I have spoken to or otherwise made contact with, Skerrit said in his urgent Facebook post, describing an avalanche of torn-away roofs across the country, including that of his own residence. Given the dramatic tragedy unfolding in Dominica, Momentum decided to convey the urgency of the situation through the message of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. Here is the complete Skerrit statement as posted on his Facebook page. Initial reports are of widespread devastation. So far, we have lost all what money can buy and replace. My greatest fear for the morning is that we will wake to news of serious physical injury and possible deaths as a result of likely landslides triggered by persistent rains. So far, the winds have swept away the roofs of almost every person I have spoken to or otherwise made contact with. The roof to my own official residence was among the first to go, and this apparently triggered an avalanche of torn-away roofs in the city and the countryside. Come tomorrow morning, we will hit the road as soon as the all-clear is given in search of the injured and those trapped in the rubble. I'm honestly not preoccupied with physical damage at this time because it is devastating, indeed mind-boggling. My focus now is in rescuing the trapped and securing medical assistance for the injured. We will need help, my friend. We will need help of all kinds. It is too early to speak of the condition of the air and seaports, but I suspect the boat will be inoperable for a few days. That is why I am eager now to solicit the support of friendly nations and organizations with helicopter services, for I personally am eager to get up and get around the country to see and determine what's needed. Rainfall ahead of the hurricane caused several landslides in Dominica as water levels across the island began to rise by the afternoon of September 18th at 21:35 Atlantic Standard Time that day, 1:35 Coordinated Universal Time, September 19th. The core of Maria moved directly over Dominica with wind speeds of 160 miles per hour, i.e., 260 kilometers per hour, or Category 5 intensity. The extreme winds blew the roofs of many houses, including that of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, who required rescue when his home began to flood. Most of the island was left without cellular, radio, or internet service. Skerrit called the devastation mind-boggling and indicated immediate priority was to rescue survivors rather than assess damage. As of September 19th, according to an update from the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA, there have been 6 deaths on Dominica as a result of the hurricane based on preliminary information. One bit of good news emerged from the Caribbean. Martinique was largely spared. The French island of Martinique suffered no major damage, the French Interior Ministry tweeted Tuesday. Maria knocked out power to about 50,000 homes, and 10,000 homes had no water. But overall, the damage assessment was reassuring, the French Interior Ministry said. The Director General of French Civil Security, Jacques Witkowski, said only 2 people in Martinique suffered minor injuries. Hurricane Maria is the strongest storm on record to make landfall in Dominica. Thousands of Puerto Ricans have been told to evacuate or die as Category 5 Hurricane Maria bears down on the island. Having devastated the island of Dominica, Maria is cutting a deadly path west with Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands most at risk. Winds have strengthened to 175 miles per hour. You have to evacuate, otherwise you're going to die, Hector Pesquera, Puerto Rico's public safety commissioner, said. I don't know how to make this any clearer. His stark warning came as frantic preparations are being made across much of the Caribbean ahead of the arrival of the potentially catastrophic Category 5 hurricane. With winds of 160 miles per hour, Maria is threatening to inflict mudslides, flash floods, life-threatening winds, and storm surges throughout the region. Hurricane Maria, the second maximum strength Atlantic storm of the season, is bearing down on the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico at the moment. It briefly weakened to a 4 but is now again picking up top sustained winds of 280 kilometers per hour. The storm is moving roughly along the same track as Irma, this season's other Category 5 hurricane. Local officials said one person was killed by a falling tree in the overseas French territory of Guadeloupe. At least 2 others were missing after their ship sank near Desirade, the easternmost island in the archipelago. The governor of Puerto Rico, a United States territory, has told the island's 3.5 million people to seek shelter as the hurricane is poised to make landfall overnight.